Hello there. Today I watched the film Joyride and now I want to tell you about it. Joyride is a raunchy comedy about an adopted woman going on a journey of self-discovery in the land of her birth. She and her friends get into all kinds of trouble on the way and learn a few lessons at the same time. It was written by Cherry Chevaprava Dumrong, Teresa Xiao, and Adele Lim, who also directed the film. It stars Ashley Park, Sherry Cola, Stephanie Su, and Sabrina Wu as the leads who end up on a journey together, and they're joined by a large cast of characters. The writing is both consistent and exciting. The conflict is your basic identity crisis. Audrey, the main character, doesn't really identify with her parents, and she doesn't feel like she fits in because she's one of the only Asian kids in an American town. As a lawyer, she's going on a business trip to China, her country of birth, and her best friend comes along for the ride. At the business meeting, the man she's meeting with is a bit racist, and it seems like he only wants to work with her if she's got some kind of familial connection to China. Her friend picks up on this and makes up a lie about Audrey meeting with her birth mother, and it kicks off a journey of self-discovery. It leads them to some unsettling truths and a lot of conflict, but in the process each of them addresses their big flaw and finds a solution to their problems. It ends with a lot of good emotional moments all stacked up in a row, like a big knockout punch. The writing's big selling point is the amount of humor they managed to cram into an hour and a half. There are jokes of all different kinds and genres, but the overall theme of the movie is sexual innuendo, although it's more overt than subtle. The humor overwhelms the emotional aspects quite a bit throughout the first two-thirds of the film, but takes a back seat in the climax so the four friends can work out all their issues in a more serious environment. At times, the main journey does feel forgotten, and it made it a little bit difficult to connect with the characters, but the emotional scenes are so well done that they end up making up a lot of ground. If there's one thing the writing could do better, it would be less repetition in the jokes. There was a lot of ground that got trampled over repeatedly, and it ended up feeling a little bit repetitive. That said, the writing was well done overall, and the story had a decent message at the heart of it. Most of the film is one-note side characters who show up for a scene to interact with the leads. They do some jokes and play out some funny scenarios while the leads react to them. The leads for the most part are stereotypes with a bit of emotion tossed in every once in a while. During the journey, the leads get to do a few scenes in which each of them tackles a personal issue in their characters' lives. The four leads each do a solid job of their performance, but some of them get a lot more time than others to tackle their issue. Ashley Park as Audrey gets the most screen time. She constantly seems like she's searching for somewhere to belong, and in each environment she's like a chameleon trying to blend in with the other people. Her performance works well as the straight woman of the group and the emotional center. Stephanie Su, Sabrina Wu, and Sherry Cola support her as her raunchy group of friends. Each of them gets their own stereotype to play out, and they each do it well. Cola is the offensive and shocking Lola, Su is playing the reformed bad girl Kat, and Wu is playing the awkward loner Deadeye. The characters are all a little too limited in their personalities for the performances to really shine, but they're all well done. Production-wise, this film has a lot of flavor to it. The visual journey is exciting and easy to follow, and the soundtrack is filled with original songs that hype up the mood. There are a number of visual gags to make you laugh and some well-shot emotional moments. Just as a heads up, there's also a lot of sexual humor. This includes shots of people miming sexual acts and a lot of partial nudity that plays into comedic moments. The visual humor does stand out at different points, but it also stands out for how cringe-inducing it can be at times. Moments you almost can't believe because they're so gross or awkward. The soundtrack includes a lot of hip-hop and pop music that sounds great and gives the film a modern feel. The songs usually come in during transitions or montages, but there is one in-movie music video in which the characters belt out a song and dance for the audience. It's filled with humor and ends with a big laugh. During the emotional moments, they had some decent tracks that connected well with the scenery. Country song or a soft piano number that sat underneath and added a sour note. Overall, this film isn't trying anything new, but does a great job recreating the identity crisis comedies of the past. They do the women's version of dick and fart jokes, and it works out fairly well. The emotional parts of the journey feel a little bit buried during the first two-thirds of the film, but emerge with a vengeance at the end. If you like raunchy comedies, this one has a lot of great visual humor, some fun songs, and a decent story. As for a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Bye-bye!